We're back with another segment of couch punk.
Yeah.
That's
I've been called that
subgenre.
before, I feel like.
Couch punk. So, anyways, we're drinking coffee. We're,
Yeah.
You're just now waking up and seeing this, but we've been on this couch for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Drinking coffee and talking about punk rock records. This segment we're going to talk about just some more punk that we didn't squeeze into the last video. Stuff I brought from home, and I'll be honest, I got a lot of punk records I don't know anything about, and that Jeremy doesn't know anything about. So we're going to talk about those.
When I get into a record, I either want to know everything about it, and I'm on the Wikipedia and watching the videos and the documentaries, or I know nothing about them and I just like the record.
Yeah,
it's a
the
good
same
sweet
way
spot.
for me, but I usually at some point I will get to the Wikipedia.
Right.
Or whatever. People act like Wikipedia's the F word. But anyway, it's good information. Sometimes.
It is, sure.
Sometimes.
I wish I had it in high school.
Yeah, for sure. So, we're going to talk about some other punk records and then some post-punk.
Yeah.
And what that means.
That is a confusing concept and term.
Apparently. So, here's some records I don't know anything about. Maybe you can tell me. Jeremy and I listened to this a little bit. This is Broken Bones, I Owe You Nothing. This came in a collection early this year. It was on the Holy Moly wall for like 6 months. I don't even looked at it. So I took it home.
Yeah.
The back cover is these dudes sitting on some gravestones with some serious hair product.
Yeah.
As you can see, I mean, they don't even care.
Great hand-drawn artwork.
Hand-drawn artwork of some sort of...
It's like a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, of some sort of real evil, sinister-looking thing with a dagger. No telling what he's about to do with it. So anyways, but this is really good. Like
such hit songs as Liquidated Brains and Crucifixed.
Decapitated.
Yeah.
And I can't say that last one because then I'll take out. They'll remove this video from me. It's that bad. I'll let you read. Don't read it out loud. I'll bleep it out. Anyways, you can't say stuff like that. But anyways, this is cool. 1984. This is a German press, and I don't know much about it, but I've seen some other like punk rockers wearing this T-shirt before. Yeah. So it's good. It's got some good guitar. It kind of reminds me of the Fear record.
Yeah.
You know? I really like
You hear like American hardcore influence on it for sure.
For sure.
It's a really cool record.
Astute.
Yeah.
Good guitar work. I gotta say that.
Yeah.
Is this post? Do you know?
I'm not.
Young Marble Giants. I would feel like this is post.
Yeah.
What year is this?
I've heard a few tunes by them, but I'm not.
Rough
Rough Trade. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say post.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But
I think Rough Trade specialized in post-punk and shoegazy stuff.
So this is really good. Very. I don't know if you listen to this. It's got some good bass stuff in it.
Yeah.
Very good. Colossal Young Marble Giants. This is one I found in the attic. Didn't know anything about it. Listened to it. It's great. That's a really good one. This is another one that the Adverts.
So cool.
Crossing the Red Sea with the Adverts. This is kind of a rare one. Found that in the attic. I just thought it was cool, and it's really good. And then you're telling me about Henry Rollins talking about it.
Yeah, I think I definitely am guilty of this. I think they're the kind of band that just a lot of people that are even big fans of this era and this genre maybe don't know about. So I would definitely say check them out if you haven't.
78.
But yeah, I was reading this Henry Rollins book called Fanatic about record collecting, which is really cool. And it's like the records he's into, so it's a lot of... I would say half the book is probably about the Stooges and the Adverts and Buzzcocks. But he just went on and on and on about how great they were, so it's like, finally had to check them out, and that was really stoked I did. That specifically is a really cool record.
I wonder if there's an audio book of Henry Rollins talking.
I did.
Like,
He's done some audiobooks in his tour journals, and they're really cool. But I would like for him to do it for the record collecting one, because that'd be a funny one to read angrily.
This one, TSOL, True Sounds of Liberty. This is
really cool record.
Yeah, this is like what, post-hardcore?
No, this was in the height of American hardcore in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're in the same scene as Black Flag and Descendants and Minutemen. Jack Grisham, I believe, was the lead singer. Is it on the back there?
Mouth and other organs.
Yeah.
Jack Gregors.
Oh, okay. I think he started going by Jack Grisham eventually. But
they
were criminals. They would they put pipe bombs next to people's garages and run off. And he said they were grave diggers and would like.
Well, that's criminal.
Right.
I did some shady stuff.
But that time in LA, like most of the people in punk bands were like, you know, you had to be a little tough because you were gonna get the crap beat out of you by either the cops or other punk fans.
Yeah. You get that street cred.
So yeah, that's a really great record.
This I should have included in Patti Smith Horses.
Oh yeah, totally.
Very, very influential. I meant to put it in pre, but I didn't.
When it was that great era of punk, when it was still early and there wasn't quite the many rules on it, you know, it was just all these like art kids started making music, and it's such a great record.
Lenny Kaye, lead guitar. Lenny Kaye, he did the Nuggets comp, which was huge for psychedelic fans. Television, Marquee Moon. Man, this is such a good record.
Oh yeah. That great.
I love this album. We were talking about this. Some people call it pre, some people call it post.
Yeah. So post-punk, he said he wanted to talk a little about it. And I'm like, I think I know what I think it means. And I did some YouTube research, and I'm still a little confused.
He went to YouTube school, guys.
Yeah. I'm still a little confused by it because everybody kind of has a different opinion. I think the term really came from when maybe the majors or the music critics thought punk was over. So maybe they started using that term, is what it seems like.
I mean, this is a 77. So
but this was the same time as like they were literally playing the same clubs as the Ramones.
If you don't even like punk, this isn't like Vicious. It's just so good. I mean,
and this is like a huge influence on what would become shoegaze, and you know, it was a very influential record. I mean, the Marquee Moon, the title track, is like a pretty long song, and then it stops. And it's basically like it just starts over again. And you'd never get tired of it. It's such a great guitar hook.
Yeah, so we'll go on. This is completely random, but this is one I was going to throw in. You were on such a roll with the Descendants.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I want to interrupt you because I thought you might attack me like
roll,
a dog.
ramble.
You know, you interrupt a dog from eating and they attack you. I didn't want that to happen.
This is my time to shine, man.
Dead Milkman, Big Lizard in my backyard. Man. I found one of these when I was... The first collection I bought, that big one I got, this had this in it, and I was like, man, this looks like a cool record, and I put it on, and I was like, a little intrigued.
Yeah.
I grew up in Southern Baptist churches, so it sounded wrong. I was young at the time. I picked this one out, and then I picked out, there was an Iggy Pop 12-inch of I Got a Right.
Oh, yeah.
And both of those I was listening to, and I was like, man, I'm being stirred.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah,
this is like just like freaking beach song. Fed my ice cream to a shark. Now I have another day.
Another great example of write about anything you want.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
Big Lizard. That Camaro song.
Yeah.
Woo, boy. Oh
really great.
Gosh. I'm gonna go down by the seashore and sell some Def Leppard t-shirts. Like, it's so good, man. I love this album so
and
much.
their little cow logo is
classic.
Got to be the top 5 most seen punk t-shirts. You know, like that's mandatory to own that.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, what a great record. What a great cover.
It's just fun. And music should be fun. It doesn't always have to be, you know, it's good when it's politically charged and all this.
I love all of
Rage Against the Machine. But, you know, sometimes it's just fun. Like it's about coffee and food. And
it's okay to... My favorite sweet spot is when you take the music seriously, but not yourself in it. You know, I think Rollins said that actually. I quote him a lot, so anytime I'm on here, just be prepared.
He's kind of my spirit animal.
He's my hero.
I'm his proxy.
This is one to me.
Go.
You know, a lot of people just know the Whip It. Of course, it was a massive hit. Or maybe you know Mark Mothersbaugh, if I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right.
Suit.
Oh, yeah. Man, did you show that on the channel yet? Man, I'm so jealous of that thing. I would wear it every day.
I'm tempted to just give it to you if you're going to wear it every day.
Devo is an absolutely incredible band. And I think maybe because they had such a big new wave hit, maybe some people didn't check them out. But this to me is like one of the best punk or post-punk, whatever you want to call it, albums. It's so freaking cool, and it's like we were saying, it's that perfect concept of being kind of funny, but like they were killer players. Mm-hmm. They all started as like art. They were all art kids at college together and made some cool, funny videos, and they started a band. And but huge early in the like cool Moog synthesizers being used in like more alternative music. So like there's so many great, like, cool, weird synth, you know, just like kind of stuff going on in this album. And if you're a Wes Anderson fan, if you've never heard this record and you start listening to it, you're like, oh, he used one of their songs on like almost every movie. But this is easily a top 10 for me. Like, I love this album so much.
I've heard, you know, from YouTube, that new wave, like, so the labels came up with the term new wave because they wanted to kind of detach that music from the punk scene because it had such a rough, you know, it had rough appearance to people of an older generation or whatever.
Absolutely.
Well, more susceptible to
what happened with the Sex Pistols and, you know, their manager, or maybe them, whoever, deciding to like just be a spectacle every time you interviewed on stage. You know, like Sid Vicious would like carve into his chest before a show.
Of course.
And so the Ramones were punk, but didn't do any of that. It was all about the music. But they started noticing, like, Sheena as a punk rocker should have been a top 10 radio hit. It's like, just, it's got everything that's great about the Beach Boys. It's catchy, it's awesome, it's fun. But it said punk rocker in the title. So Danny Fields, their manager, was saying, like, they couldn't get any radio play because they're like, you know, we had the Sex Pistols in and they threw up on the console. These guys said punk rocker in the title. There might be punk. It's just easier not to play it, you know? Yeah. And so then it kind of got to where, like, marketing yourself as punk is actually not good for you because a lot of people wouldn't touch you, or parents saw some, you know, 2020 special. So yeah, they started, post-punk started getting thrown around, but I think it still had that connotation. So I think new wave was like a little more safe, even though a lot of those bands at least were influenced by a lot of punk bands. Devo is a great example. They're like a new wave band, but like to me, they were just this cool artsy synthy punk band.
Yeah, like I have always like, don't shoot me for this.
No, I might.
I don't know if you have a gun on
you.
Don't shoot me.
There's some next door, I think.
Anyways, but so I earlier in my record buying, I lumped them in my brain with like the B-52s.
Right.
I don't know why, but they in my head they were like similar. And like a couple years ago, I threw that record on. I was like, "Dang, this is a lot better than the B-52s. This is great."
Well, you know? And I think that was.
I don't know why. Just maybe because it looks like it. I don't know.
Well, and that was kind of my point. It's like I think so many people that are even like big music fans just lump them as like a one-hit wonder. Yeah. Are you like the B-52s? I've never deep dived on the B-52s personally, but I had a friend the other day tell me that was like her favorite band, and like their first records were like really cool. I'm like, I literally have only ever heard Love Shack.
There may have been, Love Shack. I would rather just die than hear that once.
Sure,
I've heard it so many times, but
I love being surprised by that and being like, "Whoa, this is actually like a great band." Yeah. So if you've never done the Devo deep dive, I highly recommend it. I think all their records are great.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I trust you there.
Freedom of Choice is really cool. That's the record that had Whip It On it, but the title track is one of my faves.
I may do a B-52s deep dive too.
Let's do it together.
We'll do it.
Like Thelma and Louise off the cliff.
Yeah, if you're a B-52s fan, I will give anything a chance.
Yeah, tell us where to start.
GG Allin? No.
Oh, God.
Stop with GG Allin. Get out of here. GG Allin, I do not respect. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. And I would say even his fans, he's probably kind of not respect. I saw his documentary at a very young age, and
I was fascinated that someone was this insane.
It's fascinating. That's the allure.
Oh my gosh!
But man. I saw some stuff at 14. I really wish I could have unseen it because of that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, freaking GG Allin. He was born. His parents were insane. His dad named him Jesus Christ Allin.
Yeah. And
they thought he was the next Messiah. He was born in this like dirt floor shack, and like really abusive household.
Yeah.
He escaped from there with his brother, and they started this band, the Murder Junkies. And
yeah.
Like, why do I know this much about GG Allin? I hate him.
I know way more than I want to.
He was the most vile. I don't even want to talk about him anymore. Let's not.
Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. played a show with him because he's like, oh man, this, you know, he's kind of like a legend, and I'm into punk rock, and then he either quit halfway through or he just did one because he was like, I didn't want to get poop on me. Which is an odd thing to be concerned about, but a valid one. Yeah. You know,
which I mean, the Stooges shows were not impervious to a poop dumpage.
That's true.
So, anyways, let's move on.
Yeah,
let's move on. Enough about that. Violent Femmes.
Oh yeah,
this is post for sure, right?
Sure. Yeah.
This is 82.
There's posters.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This is a lot more, tame. I love this.
That's a recent band for me too. Actually, I think I knew their bigger tunes growing up. I've been diving a little more, and I really dig it. That's a really great record.
When I first started, I was probably a year or two into buying and selling records, and I was doing it on eBay at the time. And there was this guy in Charlotte that had a ton of punk records, and I could never afford any of them.
Right.
But I would go, and it was like $5 each,
Right.
And I would go, and I'd be like, "What should I got? What should I get?" And he was just loving being able to say, "Get this record. You'll really like this." So I got this record from him. I got the Buzzcocks record from him. I got a bunch of other ones that I ended up really learning a lot from and enjoying, but I was so poor I had to sell them.
Yeah.
But this is one that I got introduced to. That was probably like 2012. But really good record. It's classic. Everyone knows it. That's a great one. This one, Suicidal Tendencies. Super cool. What did you call this?
I mean, this was that cool era where like hardcore punk was starting to slow down, literally and figuratively. Black Flag's My War album, side 2 is kind of the beginning of sludge metal and that like droney, sludgy. But thrash metal was starting around that same time and getting wicked fast. Some people attribute that to Misfits' Earth AD album. It's it's at least one of the Bibles of thrash metal. But so a lot of punk bands and thrash metal was kind of like getting really, in bed with each other. And this is a great example. This band's a great example of that, where like it's got the kind of things that you want, but it's still really punky vocally.
Yeah.
But if you skateboarded in the late 80s, you had, you were into Suicidal, and you would flip your hat up. And
the artwork on here, I've never really looked at it. Like
super cool.
It's all these different like fans that had made their own, jackets and stuff. Like pretty much just like looks like they took a Sharpie to a denim jacket or shirt or something. And made all these. But this is as a sticker. It was bought in 1987 at Roadhouse Records.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty cool. So that's a good one. I've recently.
And their song "Institutionalized" is like as classic as it gets. What a cool song.
This Rick Agnew record. Do you know anything about this?
I don't.
This is
Tell me about it.
Really good. Very raw. Got some.
What was he in a band?
He did. I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
Drums, Rick Agnew. Bass, Rick Agnew.
Oh.
Guitar, Rick Agnew. This is a very good. All the keyboards, vocals, all Rick Agnew.
That's awesome.
So he did it all himself. Good job, Rick.
Yeah.
But it's a very good record. This is another one I finally added. I don't know a lot about it, but I've listened to it a lot here lately, and it's really good for him to have done it all. Not bad. I mean, granted. If I wanted to make a punk record, I feel like I could do it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not good at drums, but I can play them.
It's all about stamina.
Yeah.
I got to record up for a punk project a few months ago, and I don't play it as much as I used to, sadly. And I forgot how like just tired you get after, just especially on downstrokes. It starts to wear you out, man.
We should make a punk record.
Yeah,
and then you write
I'm
down
in.
and put it on your label.
Yeah.
We can do this. Let's do it. Let's write songs about coffee. And hey, let's write songs about customers that come in.
Yes.
Like we could make one about Wayne.
Oh yeah. Or all the lyrics are mean YouTube comments.
That is the idea.
I'm an idea man.
Copyright. I'm actually a really good idea. Dang it, that's good. I have to cut this out of the video. It's too good to share. This is the Saints. Prehistoric Sounds. This is a really good. What year is this? 78? No. It was recorded in mid-78, it says. But anyways, I don't know much about this record, but I really like it. I got this one and another one by the Saints. Really good stuff.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Or late 70s, early 80s. And I got a bunch of their 7 inches too, put them in the shop. But the stuff I'm learning about. This one's really cool. I've been really into this record, The Undertones. And this one, the guy bought it from the Attic guy. But he somehow got this autographed, which doesn't really matter because no one cares about those autographs probably. But it's really cool UK. But yeah, it's a really cool band. I heard him and thought it was post, but it's 79, so I guess it's not. I don't know if the year matters.
No.
I don't know. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Screw it.
That was around the time, I think, more bands were being called post-punk for sure.
Right. Dead Boys. What do you know about Dead Boys?
Oh yeah, New York City. They were that early CBGBs, like right when the Ramones were starting. New York Dolls, Dead Boys.
CBGB, country blues.
I actually don't remember.
Country blues. Country bluegrass blues.
Yeah,
that's weird. But anyways,
it was not known for any of those genres. I think maybe obviously that was originally, maybe
I guess, but
what he wanted to happen.
You never been to CBGB?
No, I never got to go. I think the first year I got to play New York on tour was the year after it closed, so I missed it by this much. We played maybe a block over from it though. This really cool bar at the Bowery still. But yeah, I never got to see it, unfortunately. I heard it was a real crap hole though.
Well, if you want hepatitis, the bathroom, I heard you could definitely get it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this was a great band from around that time. You also had Max's Kansas City in New York, which was a lot of these bands were playing there. But yeah, Dead Boys and the Heartbreakers were very early. They were the kind of bands that got the Ramones to even want to start a band. Like maybe not them specifically, but that scene, it was like we were saying in the other video, bands like that made you realize you could start a band too, because they were good, but not good enough to where you thought I could do that.
Not like that's what I've heard a lot, but it's not like Led Zeppelin to where it's like these guitar gods on stage with these dragon suits and double neck guitars, just
that's what punk brought so well, because the story is every city the Ramones played on their first tour, band started the next day, which is so cool to think about, because you think I could do that,
Yeah, that's what's. There's a car alarm going off, and it's just very punk rock for us to just keep going.
Nice, adding a nice dissonance to this spoken word.
The owner doesn't seem to know that it's going off.
It's not me. No, my van doesn't have an alarm on it. Yes, it does. To all you burglars.
You don't know which van it is. The thing about my truck, I always think, I know that's not mine, because mine doesn't have that ability to make that sound. Right. So talk about this. You're gonna probably go off on 30 minutes.
Yeah, we got about 30 minutes here. I mean, we could probably do a whole video about two-tone. I'm such a huge fan of two-tone ska. Obviously, it's not punk, but it was hand in hand with it in England. And typically, I mean, if you were a fan of at least British punk, you like two-tone too. They kind of go together, and they influenced each other too. They would kind of get homogenized. The Specials are one of the greatest bands of all time. To me, I say that a lot, but I mean it. It was a great example of you had all these punk kids, and there's a big influx of Jamaican people moving to England for work, and so they were all living together in these poor neighborhoods, and so you would hear punk and reggae all the time. And so two-tone really started with the Specials, and they started the label Two-Tone and actually gave it the name, as this unity thing, let's get the black kids and the white kids together and let's start bands together. And most of their songs are anti-racist and very political, but they were so good and you could dance to them that they were on the radio and they were #1 hits. And that's a hard sweet spot where it's very socially conscious, but you can play it in a club and people are gonna dance. Yeah. So now these days, I love ska, but most people think of ska as this silly music because of the third wave of it and Real Big Fish and all those bands, because they were silly and fun and wore Hawaiian shirts. Mm-hmm. But ska started as this really as you can tell by my man's teeth here, these are
Look at this polo. This is a Carolina Panthers.
You're right, but these guys were most of them carried they could they would defend themselves if they had to. There was gang fights and all this stuff. This wasn't happy smoke a joint on the beach music back then. It was very political. But every album by the Specials that they put out with the early lineup to me is incredible. I have a bunch of their 7-inches. And anytime I get to go over to the UK, I'm just digging for Specials and 210 7-inches.
I've never been to the UK. Next time you guys go,
dude,
you need to bring me with you.
Record hunting over there is my favorite, because
I could be your record hunting liaison.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe John Mark I could be a roadie or something.
Yeah, I'm always looking for Clash and two-tone stuff when I'm over there, and I always get lucky.
So this is we're going to talk about Joy Division a little bit here. I love Joy Division.
Me too.
I heard a story today or yesterday. The days are blurring together, but about Ian Curtis, and he was at this show. It was a Sex Pistols show. There was only 40 people there. It was like one of the most influential shows ever, but all 40 people were like important. So Ian Curtis was there. Who else was there? Morrissey was there. A couple other people. I can't remember. I'm butchering it. But anyways, this is a bootleg.
Oh, interesting.
And it's called Joy Division Box File. How cool is that?
Yeah.
But I need a copy of Unknown Pleasures if you have one. Original press. I need one.
Yeah, I'd like one of those.
I have had them before. I just when I ended up a couple years ago, I sold everything, and I hate that I sold that. But anyways, this is a 3 LP bootleg.
That's super cool.
Of some classic live cuts from Joy Division and studio outtakes. So really cool awesome. Box set that I got at the attic.
Okay.
Another attic dig, and then this. I nearly made brownies downstairs when I found this still. This is like the original hardcover book version with the ribbon, and it's like mint.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, this is killer.
I've never seen one of these in real life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I thought I brought it in to show it to you. I guess I didn't. But
I like that you think about me though.
I do think about you a lot.
So Joy Division, if we post-punk as a genre, I think, however people debate its use, I don't think anyone debate that if it is a genre of music that they were the first. And to them, they were just like, they saw the Sex Pistols and they wanted to do their version of it.
This is so cool.
I know.
I love it.
Such a great band. It started so many like shoegazy. I mean, even like newer bands like Interpol and the Strokes would all like just like these cool driving bass lines. Mm-hmm. A lot of the post-punk bands that were starting around that time. Because Sex Pistols broke up and Johnny Rotten started Public Image Limited, which is a recent find for me too. And like, it's super cool, but it had like really dancey drums and like the bass was so rad on all of it. If you're a bass player, like check out some of the early post-punk records. But Pill, short for Public Image Limited, I always thought those were two separate bands if people talked about them. There's a band called Wire. And Pink Flag by Wire is such a cool record.
I need that one.
Those are all like people would say is like the first like post-punk kind of albums, and like they're just like cool guitar and synth hooks for days. The Smiths kind of came out of that scene, and it evolved into like I said, I'm a huge shoegaze fan, and that was kind of the Bible for what would become like My Bloody Valentine as well. But yeah, what a cool record. That's awesome.
I love Joy Division.
Sad story, obviously.
Yeah, I love Closer. I used to have original presses, all that stuff, but I'll get them again. But yeah, all that stuff is really amazing. And then New Order.
Yeah,
I really like it.
So cool.
So, anyways, that's like as far as I think that we need to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll do more videos in the future probably. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyed talking to Jer Bear.
Hey, happy to be here, man.
Does anyone call you Jer Bear?
A surprisingly large amount of people call me Jer Bear.
Oh, man. Leave it to me. We're gonna stay tuned for our punk rock debut record.
Yeah.
We're going to put it on 4 Figures called
Mean Comments.
called The Trolls.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Man, this is really taking some shape here.
I know, it's a great idea. I can smell a good idea. I'm in the music business.
Oh gosh, I know.
We gotta make you a star, Dylan.
So awesome. Anyways, thank y'all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. It's right here. And follow us on Instagram at Noble Records. Follow Jeremy on Instagram at Jeremy Radio. Follow his shenanigans. He's always on tour, causing trouble.
Yeah.
Punkin reggae and
dumpster diving.
So, thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.